A special weekend. My name is Sarah, and I want to tell you about my special weekend. Last Saturday, I woke up early because I was excited. My family and I were going to visit my grandparents. They live in a small town by the sea. We had breakfast at home. My mom made pancakes, and my dad gave us fresh orange juice. It was delicious. After breakfast, we got ready for the trip. I took my favorite book and some snacks for the journey. My brother got his video game. We left the house at 9 o'clock. The drive to my grandparents' house takes about 2 hours. During the trip, I read my book, and my brother played his game. When we arrived, my grandparents were very happy to see us. My grandmother gave me a big hug. She always gives the best hugs. For lunch, we had sandwiches in the garden. The weather was nice, so we decided to go to the beach in the afternoon. At the beach, I collected seashells. I found many beautiful ones. My dad and I went swimming in the sea. The water was a bit cold, but we had fun. In the evening, we had a barbecue. My grandfather is very good at cooking. He gave me some tips on how to make the perfect burger. On Sunday morning, we went to the local market. There were many interesting things to see. I got a small bracelet as a souvenir. Before we left, my grandmother gave us some homemade cookies for the journey home. They were very tasty. The weekend went by quickly, but I had a great time. I always enjoy visiting my grandparents. They give us so much love and attention. On the way home, I thought about all the fun things we did. I can't wait to go back and visit them again soon. An unexpected adventure. Last summer, I had an experience that I'll never forget. It all started when my best friend, Emma, gave me a call on a Friday evening. She had won 2 tickets to a music festival in a nearby city, and asked if I wanted to go with her. Without hesitation, I said yes. We decided to leave early the next morning. I quickly packed a bag, making sure to take essentials like sunscreen, a hat, and comfortable shoes. I was so excited that I could hardly sleep that night. The next day, we got on a train to the city. The journey took about 2 hours, during which Emma and I chatted about our favorite bands and the performances we were looking forward to seeing. When we arrived, the city was buzzing with energy. People from all over the country had come for the festival. We decided to take a walk around the city center before heading to the event. As we were exploring, we came across a small, quirky cafe. The smell of fresh coffee and pastries was irresistible, so we went inside to have a quick breakfast. The owner was very friendly, and gave us some tips about the best local spots to visit. After our meal, we made our way to the festival grounds. The atmosphere was electric. There were multiple stages, food stalls, and art installations everywhere. We got our wristbands and entered the main area. Throughout the day, we saw amazing performances by both well-known and up-and-coming artists. The highlight for me was when my favorite band took the stage. Their energy was incredible, and the crowd went wild. Between acts, we explored the festival grounds. We tried different types of street food, and even had a go at some of the interactive art exhibits. I particularly enjoyed a virtual reality experience that made me feel like I was floating in space. As the sun began to set, we decided to take a break and find a quiet spot to rest. We found a small hill overlooking the main stage, and sat down to watch the sunset. It was a beautiful moment that gave us a chance to reflect on the amazing day we'd had. The festival continued well into the night, with spectacular light shows and more fantastic music. By the time it ended, we were exhausted but incredibly happy. The next morning, before catching our train home, we took one last stroll through the city. We even got some souvenirs to remember our unexpected adventure. On the journey back, Emma and I couldn't stop talking about all the great memories we'd made. We both agreed that sometimes the best experiences in life are the ones you don't plan for. This trip taught me the value of saying yes. to new opportunities and being open to adventure. It also reminded me how music has the power to bring people together and create unforgettable moments. Now, whenever I hear songs from the bands we saw at the festival, I'm immediately transported back to that wonderful weekend. It just goes to show that music, friendship, and a willingness to try new things can lead to the most amazing experiences. A week of challenges. Last month, I decided to take on a personal challenge to improve my life. I wanted to make some positive changes and put more effort into my daily routine. So, I came up with a plan for a week of challenges, where I would try something new each day. On Monday, I decided to wake up an hour earlier than usual. It was hard to get out of bed, but I managed to do it. I used the extra time to make a healthy breakfast and go for a short walk before work. This gave me more energy throughout the day. Tuesday's challenge was to give compliments to at least 5 people. It was interesting to see how a few kind words could make someone's day brighter. One colleague even gave me a thank you note, which made me feel great. On Wednesday, I challenged myself to learn something new. I decided to take an online cooking class. The chef taught us how to make a delicious pasta dish. It was fun to try new techniques, and I was proud of the meal I prepared for dinner that night. Thursday's task was to go without social media for the entire day. At first, I kept reaching for my phone out of habit. But as the day went on, I realized how much time I usually spend scrolling. Instead, I read a book and had a long phone call with an old friend. Friday's challenge was to have a no-spend day. I packed my lunch, made coffee at home, and resisted the urge to buy anything online. It was eye-opening to see how many small purchases I usually make without thinking. On Saturday, I decided to declutter my home. I went through my closet and put aside clothes I no longer wore to give to charity. It felt good to organize my space and know that someone else could benefit from the things I didn't need. Sunday's challenge was to try a new form of exercise. I went to a yoga class at a local studio. It was more difficult than I expected, but I felt great afterward. I might even make it a regular part of my routine. Throughout the week, I kept a journal to track my progress. It was interesting to see how these small changes added up. I got more done, felt more positive, and even saved some money. The experience taught me a lot about myself and my habits. I realized that it's not always easy to make changes, but the results can be very rewarding. Some challenges were harder than others, but each one gave me a sense of accomplishment. By the end of the week, I felt proud of what I had achieved. I decided to keep some of these new habits in my daily life. For example, I now try to wake up earlier most days and continue to limit my social media use. This week of challenges showed me that small changes can have a big impact. It encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone and try new things. I learned that personal growth often comes from pushing yourself and being open to new experiences.